over 40 days. Mbeumo, whoa, Mbeumo, whoa. He comes from Cameroon. He'll take us to the moon. I just made that up. I don't care. Mbeumo has signed for Manchester United. Here we land. I said I wasn't going to be excited when he signed. I lied. Don't believe me, man. I'm a true liar. Guys, I can't help but get excited. And I will say, listen, Cunha and Mbeumo is a very, very, very nice start to a transfer window. Two players I strongly believe in. Listen, I know Man United are famous for signing good players and turning them into absolute duds, but it feels different. And I know every year we say the same thing. But the biggest thing, the biggest factor is that we're signing two, not just Premier League proven players. These are two guys that deserve to be at bigger teams. Cunha last season was shelling it for Wolves. A very poor Wolves team, you know, not the best Wolves team we've seen over the past few years, but his individual numbers and individual performances were still great. And then you got Mbeumo, who in a team that lost Ivan Toney were looking for the next guy to step up. And Mbeumo did exactly that. Not only did he just step up and fill Ivan Toney's boots, you could say he performed better than Ivan Toney. Like 20 Premier League goals. The guy's a joke. In a Brentford team who, by the way, don't have a lot of possession. He doesn't get a lot of chances. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's in the top 3 when it comes to shot to goal conversion rates in the Premier League. Something like that. I don't know these particular stats, but something like that. What he's managed to do is extremely impressive. For that right 10 position in an Amorim system, you can't pick many players better than him, I'll be honest. And again, like I mentioned, not only can he score goals, not only can he be the difference maker, not only will he give us an extra threat with Cunha, with him, and hopefully a new striker, but his off the ball work, where Cunha might get criticised, you can't really say the same for Mbeumo. Brentford never have the ball, which means it's a lot of chasing, which means it's a lot of pressing, which means it's a lot of patience and hard work. So that can never be a criticism of Mbeumo. I'm buzzing, boys, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I know the deal took ages to do, and you know what, I know on the surface we've agreed 70 million or 71 million pounds, so 65 million fixed and then 6 million in add-ons. But to be fair, as you can see from this tweet here, Bryan Mbeumo's fee will be 65 million pounds plus 6 million in add-ons paid in 4 different installments. Quick maths that I'm doing without a calculator, of course, that is 16.25 million every summer basically that we're paying for the next 4 summers. That's not that bad. So out of this year's budget, only 16.25 million pounds is coming out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's how it works, which for a team and a club that is on a very, very, very tight budget, that works out very, very well for us. And since we're struggling to offload players as well, hopefully that means we can still move in the transfer market without having to sell players. Although that has a cap, like we might sign maybe 1 more player without any outgoings, and I doubt that. But if we really, really want to press forward with this transfer window and really move like a serious club, then we're going to have to sell a lot of players. And to be honest, the good news just kept coming. Fabrizio Romano reports Manchester United plan to sign new striker in the next weeks as main target after Bryan Mbeumo deal done. So it looks like we're not just going to sit around and do nothing. You know, few weeks is a bit loose. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's 52 weeks in a year. Like, they could turn around and say, well, a few weeks, 52 weeks. Like, we never specified. But hopefully that means we will see some movement. Maybe a prime target actually establish themselves. Because right now there's a lot of talk about Jackson. There's a lot of talk about Watkins, Sesko. We don't really have a main target, I don't feel like. After, of course, we missed out on Delap and Gyökeres. So I'd like to see a front runner, in all honesty, like, just to give us some clarity. But outgoings will be key for budget, as Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford, Antony remain among players set to leave. And Malacia. Dash them. Make sure you get Malacia in too. But crucially, back to Mbeumo, that means he will be able to join us for the tour, which is huge. Not only can he get to talk to the boys, not only can he socialize, chemistry, all that kind of stuff, which is extremely important, get to know the manager, but also on the training pitch, Amorim needs to implement his system as soon as possible. He needs to implement his system, his demands, his expectations to every single player, individually and as a collective. So in that sense, I am buzzing. Mbeumo, Cunha, and obviously Diego Leon are going to be on the plane to join the rest of the team. Now, it's not ideal. I've always said that. I'll be consistent in that. I'm not going to let the happy emotions take over and just forget everything. No, it's not ideal how we've moved so far. I do understand it's a tough situation. Listen, I'm not here to just get at Ineos. It's just balancing a tough situation with intent, a tough situation with ambition. Right now, it just feels like they're feeling a bit sorry for themselves. They're using the tough situation that they're in as an excuse. And whilst everyone is showing intent, ambition, making big moves, it seems like we're just taking our time with stuff, which isn't always the best thing to do. I know Sir Jim is big on, oh, we don't want to move fast to a wrong decision. Well then, brother, it doesn't mean you always have to move slow to a good decision. Sometimes move fast to a strong decision. Like, that is still an option that exists. I don't know why that's just been thrown off the table. But I do feel now that this is out the way, this mini saga is out the way, talk of outgoings has picked up. You know, if you compare it to the last 2 weeks, where there was no links to Garnacho, there was no links to Sancho, there was no links to Rashford. Now you're hearing some movement from different reporters. You're seeing that Sancho potentially is on his way to Italy. Garnacho, there's interest from Chelsea and Aston Villa. Rashford, if it's not Barcelona, again, Italy are interested. So we're hearing a lot more, which is good. Hopefully we can find them suitors. Hopefully they can go on and perform at their new clubs. We work out good deals for us, good good packages for us. But I do feel like it would be hard in this situation because our backs are against the wall. Like, it's public knowledge that we want to get rid of these players. So it's a bit hard to negotiate. But all I ask is that now this is wrapped up, we start seeing more movement on multiple fronts. We can't be a work on one deal club. That just doesn't work. We have to be looking at players to bring in. We have to be exploring opportunities, identifying main targets. So for the striker, who's really going to be our front runner, whilst also working on sales. That's how a big club operates. That's how every successful club operates. So let's see, man. But yeah, Mbeumo, I'm absolutely buzzing. I think this guy's going to add a bunch of quality to our team, a bunch of goals, which we lack. You know, forget the striker position. If you look at any other position in the pitch, we weren't getting goals from anyone. Strikers are obviously there to score goals. But other than Bruno, other than Ahmad, no one was really scoring. So now hopefully, other than the striker, you're still hopefully going to get double-digit goals from either position in the 10. Or hopefully both, actually. But I can't lie, just the thought of Cunha, Mbeumo, and then a striker. I need that. And guys, please, I understand you like Joshua Zirkzee. I like Joshua Zirkzee. I love Joshua Zirkzee, I'll be honest. He's not the answer to start. Squad option, great. Can come in and play at the 9, can come in and play at the 10. He's good to have. But as a starter, someone to lead the line for Manchester United, guarantee us goals, he's not the answer. And I know you're going to say, oh, but his link-up play is elite. He can bring in more goals for Cunha. He can bring in more goals for Mbeumo. Well, how about we get a striker that can do that and also put the ball in the back of the net on a very consistent basis. But yeah, Mbeumo, welcome to Manchester United. Welcome to the biggest club in England. No matter how poor we are the biggest club in England. Let's be real. But yeah, guys, let me know how you're feeling about the player. Let me know how you're feeling about the fee. And let me know what you think we should go after next. I know, obviously, as Fabrizio said, we are going to be looking at a striker. I also think we need a goalkeeper. I also think we need a centre mid. And hopefully we can identify targets for all 3 positions. And move simultaneously, even if it's not putting in bids, it's still some movement. Whilst also looking at some outgoings. Because again, we need to press on, man. But yeah, I'm just glad the saga's over, man. Hopefully, I'll be back with some good news very, very soon. But until then, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's grow this community. And I will see you, hopefully, very soon.